one source of funds. It's going to take multiple things, and there could be other things we can look at additionally, but those are the four things that really generate a substantial amount of revenue that can get us where we need to go. Randall's going to spend a few more minutes talking about the utility and some other components in our path forward.
Leave me the remote, though.
You want the remote?
Yes, please.
The gremlins from Tuesday night had it for a second. It was going blah, 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 blah.
I can't make my voice go godlike like Tuesday night for the transportation service charge.
That was sure enough blinking like it did.
That was just Doug holding down the button. So a big part of that, the $59 million estimate about how you might get to the gap is the transportation service charge. And we want to talk just a little bit about how that might work as a proposed idea that the North Fort Worth Task Force has been talking about and the Blue Ribbon Panel has suggested, and how they work in other cities. It would be a monthly fee based on trips generated by a particular land use. We have a table here that we've done a preliminary estimate trying to model how you might break that up. This could be broken up a lot of different ways and have a lot of different priorities, but we're just trying to get to how it might work in terms of numbers. When we first looked at it, this single-family residential fee 6 years ago would have been in the $6 range, was what the Blue Ribbon Committee suggested. As we've looked at the ability to generate between $55 and $70 million worth of need in that gap, the discussion has been, how do you distribute these across these land uses to equitably get to a way to fill that gap on the service charge? We've modeled this a lot of different ways. This is probably not the final way that it would end up, but this gives you an idea of how that might work in terms of the fee structure. The fee would be collected monthly on the water bill and dedicated for roadway maintenance and improvements. The task force, the Blue Ribbon Task Force, strongly recommended the fee remain the same for 5 years and that a 5-year CIP be attached to that. As we've talked about, the transportation service charge would be dedicated to street capacity deficiencies, so those areas of the city where we had capacity deficiency and no other way to fund that. Optimal street maintenance, like Doug was referring to, signal intersection improvements and those other pieces and the gap, and that they would be tied to a published annual CIP program. Other similar programs in the state, in Austin,